Welcome to the CDFA Hotline. My name is Kristen Sharon, and I'm the Director of Education for the Institute of Divorce Financial Analyst. The purpose of our show is to provide general information as it relates to divorce to the public and to showcase how certified divorce financial analyst professionals can help. While we will be answering questions about divorce and finances, we cannot offer personalized financial or legal advice. The reason for this is because each divorce situation is so specific. There are many different factors that may impact your particular situation, such as state-specific statutes and guidelines. We're going to be answering questions generally in the hope to steer you towards resources, information, and professionals that will help you. Nothing on this show should be construed as legal advice, professional advice, financial advice, or tax advice. I really cannot emphasize that enough. Please do not consider anything you hear on the show today as a reason not to seek advice that is specific to your situation, as that can vary wildly due to individual circumstances such as your geographic area. This show is educational, not advisory. We do, however, hope to provide you with some great information and resources that can hopefully point you in the right direction. I am thrilled to welcome a true pioneer in the field of financial planning and transition. We have Susan Bradley with us today. Susan is a certified financial planner and the founder of the Seven Money Institute and the Financial Transitionist Institute. She is also the creator of the Certified Financial Transitionist designation, a groundbreaking program that trains financial professionals to support clients not just with numbers, but with compassion, clarity, and confidence. Susan's work has helped shift the financial industry towards a more human-centered approach, and her teachings have empowered countless individuals, especially women, to rebuild their lives with strength and purpose. Whether you're contemplating divorce, in the thick of it, or rebuilding on the other side, Susan offers the insight and tools to help you move forward with clarity. So let's dive in. Thank you for joining us today, Susan.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor.
Okay, so the first question we have is from Michael in Atlanta, Georgia. And he wants to know, is there ever such a thing as being financially ready to divorce? Or do you just take the leap and figure it out as you go?
It's nice to be financially ready for all big events in your life. Divorce is sometimes a harder one to prepare for. Retirement, you're saving over decades for that event. It's good to have an idea of how two households would be supported if the income doesn't change. But there are ways to be divorced if that's what needs to happen, and to learn together how to work with the resources, the income, the assets that you have. You can figure it out, but it could take time. Most people don't have so many assets and such a clean way of ownership that it's a simple one meeting program. It takes time. And if you're contemplating divorce, it's a good thing to look at before you go into the divorce process.
I couldn't agree more. Okay, our next question is specific, but really could apply to almost anyone. Fatima from Dearborn, Michigan wants to know, in my culture, divorce carries a lot of shame, especially for women. How can I make smart financial moves when I feel so isolated?
Now that's tough. There is that human experience of divorce. That's the part that we're particularly interested in working on. And I can tell you that isolation is one of the bigger problems that people experience. It could be cultural, it could be elective, and it could be fatigue and all of that. The isolation that you have from culture usually means that you're separated from family members or maybe your community, your religious community. So what I would say is find some people that you can create community with. And maybe your CDFA or your financial transitionist knows of women's groups in the area that have gone through divorce, support groups like that. There are other women out there with a similar experience to you, not the same, obviously, but women supporting each other during these major life events, particularly when the family is not going to be supportive. It's really a critical component to a successful experience. So find your group, better in person than online, but either one is better than none.
Great advice. George from Providence, Rhode Island says, my wife and I are splitting amicably, but I still feel guilty about the financial challenges she'll face. How do I honor that without overcompensating or sabotaging my own future?
It's hard for divorce to be a 50-50 experience going forward. You can make it 50-50 for a particular period of time, but he's probably referring to earning capacity going forward. There are things that I've seen couples do after divorce that's really not part of the official document. One there's a have not experience, and that's hard for the kids because usually the have parent has better vacations, has better gifts, has a little more say over education and things like that. So try and make the decision making as equal as possible, or give a little extra credit to the one who doesn't have the money. Don't let the money rule everything. You can also, I saw this recently. Someone was a woman who had more than her husband. She had family assets and she was a really good earner. So what she would do is she would gift her ex a vacation account every year. So gave X dollars to take the kids wherever he wanted to take the kids. And it was quiet. It didn't mean that the kids needed to know about it, but there was an account, a vacation account that she would fund. And it was up to him to create whatever he wanted with the kids. Things like that are creative. They're specific to the situation. And the main thing is not to make the difference in money a power play. Nobody really wins with that.
I love that. Don't let the money rule everything. And you're so right. I've seen countless resolutions occur that are not money driven. Oftentimes it is money driven, but sometimes in certain circumstances it's not, and there are other solutions there. So that's great advice. Jillian from New Orleans says, "My ex just got remarried and I feel stuck. I want to move on financially and emotionally, but I can't seem to gain traction. Is this something that you see often?"
Yeah. What she's describing is a stage of transition that we call a passage stage. And transitions, divorce is a classic life transition. There's something that leads up to it, an anticipation. There's the ending stage, number 2 stage in transitions, when the divorce happens. And then there's the afterwards. And it's a passage. So it's not just an end, it is a movement towards what next. And that's where she feels stuck. And that's normal to feel stuck. It's one thing to jump into another relationship. Sometimes people just replace. But to reemerge as the next version of yourself takes time and takes some grace. And every bit of literature on this in between time, that people, they call it liminality or liminal space, all the literature, ancient and current, all say that it's a time of confusion, it's a time of discomfort, it's a time of ambiguity. Everything might look equally bad or equally good, and so it's hard to discern. It's a time of feeling stuck. So we have it to some degree. Women seem to experience it more than men, or are willing to experience. I think it goes on for men as well. And the big thing that I would say is to be okay with being stuck. Just say, "I'm stuck for now. I'm not there yet." You are in a process. There's something called the power of yet, that Dr. Carol Dweck's work on how the brain changes instead of being stressed out because you're stuck. If you can culture the idea, "I'm just not there yet. I haven't figured it out yet. I'm moving, but I'm not there yet." Just doing that, each time you do that, changes the way your brain and your whole physiology experiences where you are right now. It's the most positive reset I have ever heard of. That's so simple. Dr. Dweck's work started with kids, and instead of saying they failed an exam, her phraseology was, "They just haven't passed yet." So that's a good way to remember that. And if this rings true, just go to the internet, go into wherever, and search the power of yet. Great stories, great inspiration. It's a quick habit to have. So I'm stuck. I hate this. I don't feel like I'm going anywhere. I don't, this looks better than I'm not doing this. There's a lot of shame that goes on with that. Just try and get yourself to say, yeah, it's true, but I'm not there yet. I'm not where I'm going, and where I'm going is good.
That's great advice. And also just not comparing your journey to somebody else's. Just because your
Yeah.
spouse got remarried does not mean that they have handled this process any better than you. You can't compare yourself to anyone else's divorce or anyone
Yeah.
else's
And
journey.
it doesn't mean they're going to end up happier than you.
Mhm.
They're still in a transition. Getting remarried is also a transition. So it's a process of integrating something new and building a new normal, and that takes years.
Okay, Terry wants to know, my adult children are struggling more with the divorce than I expected. It's affecting my financial choices. How do I balance that?
It's you never really know how kids are going to experience divorce. I think the main thing is to be able to have honest conversations, to have some real alignment. You can disagree and you can have some fires that need to be put out, but to have a willingness to face it, to name the situation that you're in, and that they're unhappy about this and mom's unhappy about that, or dad, and we're trying to come together on this. And again, we're not there yet. It's going to take some time. I'm doing the best I can. I wouldn't look for any quick fix. I don't think there's a magic bullet. Maybe there is for some families. Magic bullets don't always last that long. So if you've got one, enjoy it and be ready to reboot afterwards. I think allowing the kids to feel what they feel and say what they feel, and for parents to acknowledge it, and that, but they don't have to buy in. They can have their own feelings.
Carolyn from Savannah says that she feels guilty about complaining about her financial security and financial situation after voluntarily leaving a marriage that looked perfect for me.
That's a really hard situation too for the CDFAs and the CEFTs, because it looks so black and white. You could have the coulda, shoulda, woulda sort of thing. And if you're just looking at the numbers, you can make a case for that was a bad decision if that's all that mattered. But good professionals will help you integrate what you can create now as a result. You don't have to have that same amount of money. Many people with less money than any of us have are creating beautiful lives for themselves. It's more challenging. So it's about the freedom to create and reimagine your identity, and to figure out how you're going to earn, attract, live without, how you're going to deal with that money. It's a creative process. And if you have the right professionals that can work with you, many of the CDFAs don't stop at the divorce. They work with their clients for lifetime. And so these are just passages that you work through, and realities of divorce. But again, pay attention to it, lean in, don't deny it, um, live with it, and change it, reimagine it.
Yeah, and I would say also just recognize that you needed to leave that marriage for a reason, and staying for financial security was not giving you what you needed out of your life. And so it's a balance or a trade-off in some way, shape, or form when you make these type of decisions that lead to transitions, or when transitions happen. But don't deny the way that you felt at the time, and give it validity, even though now in the rearview mirror it's a little bit.
You're so right with that. And so many people get trapped because of the money. And, they say to marry a wealthy person is the hardest job you'll ever have. And to stay married to someone you shouldn't be married to because of the money can really be miserable. So celebrate in what you've created for yourself. And it was probably difficult to make that move. And I would applaud you for that.
Danielle says, I've been divorced for 2 years and I still can't bring myself to update my will or retirement plan. Why is it so hard, and how do I get them?
That's that stuck place that many people get to after an event has happened. It could be the same if you were divorced, to tell you the truth. I mean, if you were widowed. It could be the same if you had sold your business. We tend to go into a gap time. And as much as you can normalize it, so I wouldn't beat yourself up over it, still you probably need to get to it. And the way that many people get to it is they work with someone who gets them and helps them be accountable. And that can be a positive or a negative experience. So you're really interviewing someone. If it's a new person, your CDFA or your financial transitionist should be able to do that for you, is to make it easier. And it's, you're not the first person that's gone through this. But if you imagine life happening, a death or whatever, without doing it, those consequences usually are not great. So think about the person that you want to see yourself as if that happened, rather than what's on the table right now. Create a positive image to work into.
Anthony from Chicago says, we have not even filed yet, but I'm already overwhelmed with emotion and can't think clearly about the financial side. What should I do to avoid making expensive mistakes?
Go slow it down. Work with really talented CDFAs and CEFTs who can help you calm down all the noise. There's like high volume mess in your space. And you can calm that down. We use something that I think I first wrote about this in 1995 because I was trying to figure out why people get stuck in decision making during these big events. And it's called the decision free zone. So he probably doesn't have to deal with all of it. Just work with someone who can help him sort and prioritize and make one good decision at a time. And one good decision at a time, while you can also go on to the metaphor of a balcony and see the big picture. And it probably looks like a mess, and I don't want to go there. And my brain shuts down. So you have some version of a messy big picture. Choose one thing. And then if you need to make a list of everything else, put it all in a sooner or later, I'll get to it. But this is what I'll do now. And when you take one step at a time like that, you build confidence that you can do it. So you're not stagnating. And more importantly, you're not harming yourself by not dealing with things. You're moving at your own pace. I think it's hard to do, but you can do that. You can.
I love what you said though, but you're not harming yourself by not making decisions. So making one decision at a time and slowing things down. You're so right that oftentimes not all of these decisions need to be made at once, but some decisions do need to be made. And so I love how you broke that down. It's
Thank you.
really good. Maria says, I'm 6 months post-divorce after a 20-year marriage, and I feel paralyzed when it comes to money. How do I even start making financial decisions when I'm grieving?
6 months is pretty fresh, and that's a long-term marriage. I think it would be helpful if she ran through a quick exercise with her CDFA and or certified financial transitionist. And it's an am I okay exercise. And what you do is you list, first of all, what are all the income sources you have? And if you don't have any predictable, repeatable, fixed income, you don't. But many people have some. So you make a list of those. And you put down next to it what it is, how much it is, when it comes, and how long it will continue. So you can see that. The next block that you want to make a list on is where do you have assets that you could get to? We're not talking about investing right now. We're talking about where you could write a check or have money transferred. Where are those places? And they may even be in your retirement accounts, and depends upon how you own it and the circumstances of the divorce, they may be available without tax. So you make a list of where chunks of money are. Next to it, is it taxable or tax-free? Does it cost money to get to it? How long does it get to it? Does it take? So you start to get some fluency on this mass that you don't want to deal with. And what you're looking for is, if I did absolutely nothing for the next 6 months, and I took my income from one of these, either the income source or the assets or both, would I be okay to just delay making any decision for 6 months? So you can build yourself a safety zone. And over that time, you'll probably find you get a little more interested, a little more capacity. You'll wake up some days and be clear and ready, and other days you're back in the fog. And you just gradually work your way out of it. You're not there yet. So keep yourself safe in the meantime. You don't want to go after money that's going to cost fees and taxes and all that if you don't have to. And you just want to take that stress off. There's enough coming in every month to do what I need. And automate your bills. If you're finding that you're not paying your bills or you're forgetting, automate them. So you're looking at your bank account maybe just once a week, just to make sure things got paid. So it's not a daily grind.
Great advice. Okay, our last question is from Diane in Minneapolis. And she says, I'm a stay-at-home mom and I have no career to fall back on. What's the smartest first financial move for women like me? I'd like to have a career, but it's hard to fit in with my daily life. How do I move forward?
That is hard. It's kind of having the rug pulled out from under you. But one of my favorite investors, Warren Buffett, gives advice. And he says, the best investment to make that pays the highest dividends is to invest in yourself. Now, that's easy to say if you're young and you don't have kids and you want to go all the way through school and get a master's, and if you know what you want to do. In the meantime, if she stay home, there's a new way to start to pick up skills and to test out, do you like it or not? It's called micro credentialing. They're short courses. They're designed to teach something, a very specific skill. So if you're in, say, medical imaging, it might be you're learning the next level of work. It could be in maybe being an assistant, something that you're kind of interested in. See if there's a short intro course, and it's usually the micro credentials have a usable credential that's stacked towards something else. So if you do like it, then you put it towards more of a credential down the road. And if you found something that you really like, I'll tell you what, financial planning needs young women to come in and to start to train. You can test that out, see if you like it with some online courses. There's some summer programs that you can take. One's called an externship. I think it costs $400 and you can online test it out. So if there are areas that interest you, look for ways to test it out, but try and do it where you can build some credential towards it. And they're usually inexpensive.
Love that. I want to thank Susan for being here with us today. If you want to find a certified divorce financial analyst in your area, you can search for one on our website at www.institutecdfa.com. And if you have questions for Susan, you can reach out to her at www.suddenmoney.com. We also have a link below for anyone who wants to submit questions for our next episode. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much. Thank you, Susan.
Thanks, Kristen. Good to be with you.